Yeah, here we go with the winners finals. AR once again, and what?
Huh?
Triple machine! Did we teleport back to when this game released for a second? And everyone, like,
seems like it.
the hell out of machine?
It seems like it.
I have not seen this comp in a while. And I very much wonder how the special output is going to function here. I guess it is tower control. But lack of pain and special output on defense might be a bit tricky. You know, when you're defending the attackers have more special advantage, being the only 220p weapon in the game with bad ink efficiency and paint might be a bit tricky. And you don't even have the LVE yet until the tower gets pushed far enough, which is very risky to let happen on this mode. That being said, working out for them so far.
Yeah, it seems like all that chip is really coming through for them. And now they have a crab tail on tower, so that's gonna come huge, and it's probably gonna give them the checkpoint unless that suction bomb actually goes to the back of the crab tank and ends up killing their push right now.
The goated sub-power suction. Also, that double wheel was definitely wasted in the same location. That was not necessary.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit hard to actually coordinate this kind of thing from what I'm seeing. And now it's the turn of AR to push. They got the crab tank, they got the booyah bomb. It's still a 3v3 situation right now, but they still got the special advantage for sure. Now they're gonna push. They're gonna pop the booyah bomb. Not quite get anyone, but just giving them a little bit more time to make up space and get the checkpoint gone.
Yeah,
oh, but Balti goes down.
Gonna kind of be like running a double blaster, which no one who has played Splatoon 1 has even seen. Which is basically that you have a bunch of AoE that can combo with itself. The difference here that makes it a bit stronger is the two blasters both need to be in effective range to combo their area of effects together, and this weapon doesn't. And then also this weapon can do it with arcs. So it's a little bit better, and then it also has a really good kit. So that is why we see 2 or 3 of this weapon sometimes, and not really many of the blasters. But in concept, the same idea. A lot of combo potential, very easy to work off each other. You just have to pay attention to who you're initiating, who one of your machines is initiating, and follow up on it. You're very likely to combo and work together. And on a map this small with a lot of angles and advantageous positions for area of effect type weapons, it could work out very well for them. And so far, it's been a great start. We do see the crab tank being popped on the high ground, and the strikes are actually going to keep the machines off the crab. We've been seeing this a lot lately from AR, where they're using strikes to kind of work for the crab, to enable the crab to get more value, rather than trying to just be something used alongside it. However, it's hard to say that the damage just hasn't been done at this point, as the push has gone all the way to 31. And we are seeing these machines just absolutely lock out the map when they have all this pain control. AR needs to be much more aggressive when they get openings. They have to take this space so that the flaws of the machine can be a lot more noticeable. However, one thing worth noting here is since AR is the team pushing while the other team is defending, the defending team is going to have a much higher special advantage, because the passive special advantage you get as a defender is only if you're losing. And since they are not losing, the special output is going to be ramped up hard on Alliance Rogue's side, giving them a lot of potential to just keep things snowballed if they can stay alive. However, they go down right before the point where it matters. They needed to be able to slow things down at that point and weren't able to do it. And we're going to see these machines opting to push very aggressively. They can't paint mid very well or very quickly. Only the splash can do that. So it's better to just take positions under ledges and not worry about that paint control. Let it be cleaned up slowly by the splash as they get those crab tanks.
Now they get picked off by the tri-strike. The tri-strike might come in big against the triple machine. And right now we see three of them down on the side of Flippa Floppa. Now Era's gonna try to get another push going, and it's gonna be really tough to break through that second checkpoint. They really gotta make it so that Flippa Floppa burns all of their resources before they actually get there. Oh, but sadly they get all picked off, and now they're just gonna lose mid control. It's only both machines struggling to fight for mid. They're gonna have to... Oh, this machine's going really aggro though. I don't think that's worth it though.
Not close enough to get that crab tank. It gets picked off. The crab not even broken by the booyah bomb. Not that it really mattered there. It was kind of ran out of duration anyway. Booyah bombs being popped here. I kind of wish we saw these strikes popped a little bit more reactively to the booyah bombs. I mean, it's a guaranteed kill on any of them, and there's 3 of them, so having them ready could be good. But that being said, it's definitely something we could see on the push here. If they try to do a GG booyah bomb, the strikes could be used there. Though the strike in this case was popped really early. They are able to get 2 kills though, so it's just the splash with the crab tank to slow things down, which is definitely going to do its job, but not going to be quite as devastating as a Booyah Bomb, as they're going to be able to hold on to the tower. They have a jump to take space on it, but another machine is coming down from the sky in order to take them out. One player's alive and, oh, just barely isn't able to get on the tower and use that crab tank, as Flippa Floppa with the triple machine comp gonna be able to take that game.
Yeah,
I'm guessing that's just a map mode thing, but I'm very curious if we see that again, because I have not seen 3 machines in one comp in a long time.
I mean, Mako Mart is a map that does favor machines, and all that AoE on tower was really annoying for AR. We could see that on every single one of their pushes, and Flippa Floppa just barely managed to get enough resources to actually stop tower. So maybe they knew what they were doing with that triple machine comp. Maybe this was all calculated risk in favor of getting all that chip on tower just to stop their pushes without even needing that many resources.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing is you kind of had to adapt your play to the machines. I think Booyah Bomb, Tri-Strike shouldn't have been used more to open things. It should have been used much more to actually punish and get picks on the Booyah Bombs.
Yeah, but at the same
I
time,
think that would have been probably the main thing that would help them get better.
yeah, I feel like Gray would probably try to do that, but at the same time, since Mako has so many awkward ledges, it can be a little bit tricky to aim that triple ink strike. So maybe that's what held them back this time.
So apparently Jackpot and the team they were 1-1 with were having a very even set, and the enemy team was pushing at 20 seconds left, and one of their splashes, like, they did pretty much stop the rain, but, like, they could have still had a chance to counter push, but then a player on each team disconnected at 10 seconds left.
Oh.
Then another 3v3 push happened, but it got shut down pretty quickly. Which, very strange conclusion to that set. But no upset in this case. Jackpot are not out of the tournament yet. And they are going to be fighting against Aqua, while Zero Deaths is going to be fighting against Bet. The winner of Zero Deaths and Bet will fight Graveyard Shift, while the winners of Aqua and Jackpot will fight Robbie and the Tomodachi. And the winners of that will compete in top 4. So yeah, that's not even top 4. Those are losers top 8 matches. So that should just say how stacked this tournament is right now. Well, Rainmaker Undertow is the map mode we're seeing here for Alliance Rogue. This is going to be their comfortable counter pick. Definitely more of a carbon map, which I think might be better for them here. Definitely worth a shot. And they did very well here last time when they fought Robbie and the Tomodachi. So we'll have to see if this is enough of an advantage, or if Chaos Team is something they can pull here. I mean, I could still see the triple machine being picked, but definitely not as strong as Tower Mako, so I think more than likely we'll be seeing something different this time.
Yeah, I'm expecting something more like double crab, double machine, if I'm being honest. But who knows, maybe Kyo will go for the Stamper pick.
Yeah, we're seeing a 96 being picked for one of the machines.
Interesting.
And AR is going to be going with the carbon pick that we suspected.
Yeah, we're gonna see if AR can make an encore of this last Rainmaker Undertow game. We'll see if they have as much of a strong advantage as last time, but it doesn't seem like it since the machine is the first one to get picked on Alliance Rogue side. Kibber is forced to pop this crab right now. He's gonna try to take control of mid, accompany with the ink strikes, and they do manage to get a pick on the social machine. And now they're just gonna burst spam this poor 96. Sadly, this was not very mobile, and now Bolt is just going off. Oh, but he misses the machine. He barely misses it. But this is still gonna be opening.
Low ink on one of those. But yeah, we're definitely seeing the reason you would put Volty on the carbon here as he gets another kill. And has just been leading AR to victory here. The 96 gonna drop in with a Kraken, able to get it off just before the carbon gets a pick. But you can just push on the grading on this map and it might not be too big a deal. That being said, it looks like the Kraken did a good job of getting to him first before he can get on that side of the map. Very nice crab from Kibber, gonna be able to combo with Volty, as Volty is able to get 2 players before going down. And we are seeing a lot of pressure from this carbon. Also, Flippa Floppa did not even pop the Rainmaker yet. If they want to wait for it to reset, it takes about 15 seconds after they popped it there. That's a lot of time off the clock for Alliance Rogue to stabilize.
Yeah, these are the kind of plays that really stagger your team. The Carbon going for a 2-for-1 trade right there really slowed down Flippa Floppa's momentum. So they do not even get to have a push here because they're just being constantly pressured back to their base. But now Bolt is going down, so maybe they'll have a chance. We'll see if this Kraken can come big. But now that Alliance Rogue has 2 down, they pop up. Did they pop a Kraken? Yes, they did.
Yeah, look how patiently the 96 has been playing with the Kraken here. Usually you see it to just go after another special or something, but it hasn't been used on 3 separate players. Finally gonna pop it now onto the machine where they know they'll be able to get the pick where its movement is limited, where they have a teammate to help. And then they'll be able to end the special early when it no longer is used to grab the Rainmaker. However, that might not be enough if you have Kiver in the back line trying to keep things together. The Booyah Bomb was popped. I think he debated just going for the grab, but ended up just kind of electing not to. Gray goes down, but another kill happens as Volty has now snuck his way in and was able to kill the machine. By the way, yes, that is the Stamper Booyah tech. It does work with rollers as well. So very smart play there to be able to punish the machine just a little bit earlier.
Yeah, Rose have a really nice multiplier against the Booyah Bomb, and that's gonna come in big for Volty right here. Now we're gonna see a Flippa Floppa is gonna get staggered once again, not getting quite the push they wanted. They had a really good position, but sadly, it only took one person to stop that Rainmaker. And now they're gonna have to deal with Alliance Rogue pushing yet again, probably going for even more points right now. We'll see if they can get through the uninkable now. Booyah Bomb is pop, and they do get the Rainmaker, only 46 lead, but Volty with that Suka might make more things happen right now. Kiver's going in, Volty's going to go for a flank, but Alliance Rogue is slowly but surely getting picked off, and now it's only Gray on the back trying to hold.
They used the Zuka for the pop, but didn't really go for the Rainmaker after. I figured it would have been better to at least get a few points and reset that shield. They'll have time to defend, but that push definitely could have been a little bit more. Also, very surprised the suction on that wall did not get a kill. But Flippa Floppa is stabilizing here. We do see a Kraken trying to do something here. Is able to pick off Volty, but it might be a little bit too late here. The Rainmaker shield's unpopped. Full team is down. They're going to need to start another push. But AR needs to be careful. They're kind of in the middle of the map, and so if the other team recognizes that and breaks away, could be very scary. Luckily, Scar has the Booyah Bomb to buy some time. Volty gonna go in and get a trade with Biscuit, gonna shut down that crab before it could ever happen. The machine is able to get 2 though.
3 down. 3 down on the side of the Alliance Rogue.
On the defense, he's gonna have to give up that checkpoint. And it looks like they're actually gonna push the other side of the map. I'm not sure if that's a good idea. AR is going to be able to regroup much faster to this part of the map, and they also had a machine already over there. I'm a bit unsure why they pushed this side of the map, but that might be a big problem here. If they're not able to grab the rain, it's going to go back to middle, and I don't think they have anyone who's going to be able to pick it up. Gray could probably use his tri-strikes to win the pop in mid as well, and get a lot of map control to split the team, especially with the suction bombs being used before and after. And it's just going to be up to this last team fight. If Volty can find this machine, and he does, they have a clear advantage.
Yeah, right now Alliance
narrowly escapes. Scar has to play his life. Booyah Bombs early. Gonna be holding it as long as he can. Rain's gonna be going the other side of the map and needs to be there quickly because the breakaway is not that far to get to the lead. And there is no checkpoint to slow them down. However, Biscuit did pop that crab tank already, and Volty sneaks past the crab to get the Rainmaker. And if they were debating about if picking around the carbon was worth it, that game was the answer. The push and defense both held together by that carbon roller. And that puts AR on the board.
Yeah, you really do not want to underestimate a carbon deco on this kind of stage. So I feel like that kind of counter pick was a little bit too risky. I feel like Flippa Floppa didn't really know how to keep things under control. Their pushes were kind of hit or miss, and mostly misses in my opinion. They only got through the first checkpoint on the very last minutes of the game. So I feel like in this, I'm just stumbling upon my words right now. I'm sorry. I do not have. I'm not used to commentating. I haven't commented in a while, but I'm just glad to be here. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
We got a little bit of a break right now as we wait for the counter pick. Here's the thing, though. AR may have won that, but that was AR's counter pick. And unfortunately, since they lost game 1, the only predetermined map, AR also has to win on one of Floppa's maps. So they're going to have to win something that might be a bit tricky. Now, the good news is I believe with the rule set, you can't repeat a mode that you've won on. So I don't think AR can go to Rainmaker or Floppa can go to Tower Control. So if they were hoping to repeat the triple machine thing, unfortunately they don't really have anything great for it, as Tower is by far the best mode for that kind of comp for obvious area of effect reasons. So instead, it looks like we might be seeing Zones come out as the counter pick. Shelton does play Explo, at least he used to. I'm not sure if he plays it anymore in this meta. But it will be interesting if they do pick around that. Maybe doing Flounder Zones could be pretty good. Could also have, like, Kyo on the Tri-Slosher. You could have Expo, Machine there. A lot of different options for Flounder Zones is something we could see. Maki is an option, or Haggle if you want to play around specials. Or maybe we'll even see Shelton or one of the members of this team flexing onto a ballpoint. I could see it, honestly. Shelton is a very flexible player. Would not surprise me if he has a killer Splatling just hiding.
I don't know why, but I feel like this counter pick is an answer to the Carbon Roller from previous game. I feel like Floppa's previous comp would work a lot more on a stage like this, in my personal opinion. Like, you have the Kraken to chase down the crowds more easily, since they kind of pop them nearby the zone. But we'll see how it works out for them.
Yeah, we'll have to see as we head into this next game. It definitely could be argued as an anti-Carbon map. It is very tricky for Carbon to get in. It is still a pretty good Zuka map, especially since the tent is in an Ikabola with an arc that favors it, so it can be very useful there. And I could definitely see Volti sticking with it if they feel it is best against this team. But if your goal is to counterpick around that Carbon Roller, then I think this was a pretty good option to pick towards.
Yeah, we're gonna see as we head into this game 3. It's anyone's game still. So since they're
there
1-1,
we go. I was right.
Wow.
Not a ballpoint, but they do have a heavy. So there you go.
Yeah, the Wavebreaker is really gonna help out to detect the carbon sharking if they decide to do so. So they're gonna have to be really mindful about that.
Yeah,
right
we're
now
seeing
we
Star.
see.
Ooh, very nice opening on this right side, and look at Gray striking in order to help his team. Gray has done a really good job with these tri-strikes lately. I do think the special struggles a bit right now, but can definitely still work. And this is really the level of skill with these strikes that you need, the level of coordination with your team to get ample value off them. And he's been doing a great job with it so far. Volti does get picked up by the Crab Tank. The strikes are going to stall, possibly just in an attempt to contest the zone. It's not going to buy too much time until the Booyah Bomb came in to buy a little bit more. And look at this output that he's going to be able to get.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna see AR flip that zone and get 2 picks against Floppa. And now they're gonna just be forced to retreat and farm resources, but they're gonna get chipped by those burst bombs. It's gonna be really annoying to fight against that, and soon enough, the Suka from AR.
And Volti gets behind with that Carbon, is able to get one pick before going down. But honestly, a pick like that might be all they need, because the other players are going to be weak and a bit scattered, and that Crab's going to be able to move them. Luckily, they managed to find a kill onto Star. But Volti is back behind. Or no, that's not Volti. That's Kiver behind them as well with the splash. AR is going aggressive here.
Yeah, even if they don't get any picks, they're just looking to buy more time so they can lower their zone count. And well, right now they're gonna lose it, but still 23 is a pretty good lead for such an early game state, I feel like. Now the Suka's coming in. He's gonna target a player on the left side. Unfortunately, does not quite get it, but now Scar is able to go through there, get machine. Oh god, and now it's 3 down.
From Volti, machine hits, so many things comboing together to put those players down.
Yeah, absolutely. And now they're just back to square one. They're gonna pop the Wavebreaker, although I feel like a little bit too early. The Carbon just went down, and it's only the... Oh, never mind. One of them goes down. It seems like that Wavebreaker got somebody off. Now they get those crab things going in. Oh, but Volti...
I think the Carbon did actually hit the Crab on the head and force them to back off. But went a little bit too aggressive for that. That Crab was able to back off and stay alive. Would have been better to just leave it since it's in a much less effective position But unfortunately, they chased a bit of kills, and now the over-aggression is starting to bite a little bit. They do have a crab to push in with, but it's going to be tricky to get value off it. Volty jumps in, I think, and it looks like he got picked off there. And now they're going to have to be really careful. They need this crab to get value. They might have to use the strikes, but the strikes are going to be unable to hit under that tent. So they're going to go with the right side crab angle, but the machine jumps out. That's no kill. Crabs are going to come out on the defending side, 2 of them, and AR is going to have to give them the lead here. They need to wait this out and stay alive.
Yeah, Flippa still had that second crab. Oh, there's a trade on zone, and now it's... Oh no.
Able to get a nice trade, but oh, now it's just Gray getting rushed in. The tri-strikes goes down, and Volty has to come up huge here in order for them to get away in, and they are just anti-ing him off the objective and are able to get the win on this map. And the counter pick goes back to Alliance Rogue to try to tie up the score afterward as the lead breaks away from them again. Very nice counter pick here against that Carbon Roller.
Yeah, they definitely were able to answer their comp much more easily right now. They had a lot more control of the match. And even though Alliance Rogue had a really nice lead on the early game, they just managed to lock them out so hard. As you said, that over-aggression really did... AR ended up paying for that over-aggression, and they just got staggered on their pushes so much that they could not even be... They couldn't even be able to go for a recap right there. So nice hold on the side of Floppa.
Yeah, for sure. Now here's the thing, it's zones on a very tough Carbon map. You know what you need to do here. Get it off a Carbon map. You know, like get back to a Carbon map. You know? They don't want you on a Carbon map, you go back to a Carbon map. Force them to deal with it. That's probably the best thing they can do. And they can do Rainmaker, but like still good Clan Blitz options, or even TC that could work. Or you could just do Flounder zones. All of which good Carbon options they could play too. Though, maybe be careful picking zones, because I have a bad feeling that if they pick zones, they would just ban Flounder. Though, I guess if you did that, you could still also go zones Monty. Since they are both in it, you can't ban both.
We're gonna see if the counter pick ends up being a favorable cover map.
Oh yeah, and
right
zones
now...
Mako is a thing too.
Yeah.
So,
but wait.
They could definitely do zones and have a lot of options if they want to do so.
Well, they can't pick Mako, right? I
No,
mean, they played on it, but...
They can't go TC Mako, but they can do zones Mako.
Yeah. Oh, but they opted to go for Clan Blitz on Museum.
Interesting. It looks like they're trying to keep the same maps that they played against the Robbie and the Tomodachi. Maybe just because they already know they've done well in these in a different set. So it could be something useful here.
Yeah, it could be a more or less a comfort pick, but I feel like it could really work out well for them. They knew how to defend in this particular stage, even with the special disadvantage. So I feel like AR might have this game if they know how to play the cards correctly. If they keep the same game plan they had against Robbie and the Tomodachis, then I think for sure they can take this game. But we're gonna have to see if that's the case.
Small bracket update. Zero Deaths have taken out Bet, and Jackpot have taken out Aqua, both 2-0 sets. So the top 16 matches are happening with Graveyard Shift versus Zero Deaths and Robbie and the Tomodachi versus Jackpot. Is that a last resort comp? Just straight up a last resort comp, like. Alright.
Nope.
We have double QR sword. Inspirational out here. Inspiring teams to try out a double sword comp. And that's what we're gonna see here. Let's see if they can pull it off against Alliance Rogue, the best team in Europe.
And they have a really nice opening here with a power clamp. They're gonna score, but after this, I'm not sure how they're gonna follow up. They only have one clamp in hand. Well, they're getting a couple more here, But Alliance Road has plenty of time to stop them, and they do end up canceling that hammer pretty easily. They get a few more points in, but right now it seems like Alliance Road is just gonna take control of it. They're gonna have a scrappy fight with the Stamper, and oh, they canceled the Zipcaster. They did not get away at all. And now they're just taking picks left and right. It's only the splash right now. He's gonna get it. Nice pick by Bolty right here. And overall, just a really nice kill streak that's gonna give Alliance Road the control of mid.
And the swords are going down though, and AR is slowly getting map control. They also have that Trizuka at the ready. And this is really where this double sword comp can show its flaws. Thrives very well on offense. Defense is a bit of another story. You really have to play around those crabs. AR seemed to have rushed the push though, rather than waiting out that crab, and kind of got locked out as well as didn't have Volty in front of the rest of the team. And so they didn't have anything there to work with.
Yeah, the push is gonna be cut short, and now the machine is gonna go down, and Flippa Floppa is gonna opt to play mid. They're gonna have to fight this crab on right, or rather stall it, but they seem to be pretty aggressive towards it. They pick up Bolty, and now they're free to go onto their plat. There's nobody there, only the splash right now, and they get 3 down, and it's looking very good for Flippa Floppa. There's 4 down, it's only the Carbon who's just respawning, and it's gonna be very difficult for Bolty alone to defend this whole push. Oh,
Nice
he gets
first
picked
bump
off
there.
immediately.
They're gonna get a good push at the crab ready. They also could technically jump a power clam if they're able to keep it open for long enough, but I'm unsure if they're gonna be able to give the jump with how many players went down here, and there's no plan to keep it open long enough.
Yeah, it's only a stamp it out. Oh, Bolty misses the super jump. I'm not sure if it was because of the slide or if because he missed timing his vertical flip.
Yeah, at least they were able to clean up the sword clearly a bit afterward. And Volty is underneath here with 7 clams and almost has a Trizuka.
Yeah, and he only needs 1 more clam to make things happen. Now he has that Trizuka, and he's gonna have to get at least 1 pick to. Oh, he
Oh, 2
shoots
of
on
them
the
go
floor.
down. Gonna just Zuka for safety, but honestly not needed here. They have a lot of clams to score. I would just make the power clam rather than scoring 7 because it's a bit unsafe. And I really think Volty needs to be in the front, needs to be pressuring under the ledge and trying to bully these swords, but they have to get close in order to do so. And he's been hanging a bit further back. A lot of players go down. AR getting very close to this lead here, but it looks like it's just not gonna be enough quite yet.
Yeah, that push is gonna go down to 40, but still not quite enough. The penalty is low on both sides, so oh, there's 2 down. I was gonna say
Yeah,
that
both
Flippa
swords
Floppa.
go down early. One of the splashes is able to get a trade to keep things alive, but they are numbers down, waiting for the swords to regroup to continue their offense here while the machine is down.
Yeah, I was gonna say Flippa Floppa had a good push opportunity there, but unfortunately they got 2 down. Now they're once again at the numbers disadvantage, and there goes
Everyone
2
dead.
down.
It's only the swords, and this is not the order you want. Kyo is trying to hold things together with that ultra stamp, and they're gonna jump the power clam, and
Not get
what?
it. They did not
They
get it.
missed the score.
Either that or their jump was
No,
a
they
little bit
missed.
too far away.
Yeah, maybe it was
wow.
too far, but just misexecution. I don't know if it was really worth it anyway. That would have just been points off the penalty. I'm very surprised they went for that.
Well, luckily they still have that pity clam to grant them the overtime extension. And now that I got 1 down the side of Flippa Floppa, maybe they can make things happen if they manage to get control of mid and eventually their plat.
Yeah, we'll have to see. One of the players does go down. Volty able to get a pick on the sword.
Oh,
and
2
AR
down.
is going to have 1 more opportunity to push. The Splash can hold things together.
Oh.
And while Gray scores, this whole team
That's
just
a
isn't
lie.
here. And
Yeah,
guess what?
they're-
They don't have clams. They have
They-
15
they're-
seconds to make a power clam while there's a crab shooting at them. They are able to kill one of the splashes, but I have no idea how they're going to make a football in such little time. It would be an absolute miracle if they could find the clams for it. And I just don't think they have enough to make it happen. Too many panicked single power clam pushes. And the last resort comp gonna be able to clear as Flippa Floppa make it into Grands.